The story of Dorothy, the Bannister Doll, is rarely spoken of, as many people believe that even mentioning her name would bring back her tormented spirit. During the early 19th century, Mayor Bannister lived in an old building in Snow Hill near Walker Street in the town of Preston, Lancashire. Bannister's daughter was called Dorothy, and she was locally known as the Bannister Doll due to her beauty. Being so attractive, she had many boys chasing after her. She ended up facing her father and having to confess that she had been pregnant. Her father was a very strict man, and she knew this. In a fit of rage, he dragged her out of the house and tied her to a tree in the garden. He then proceeded to whip her until there was no more breath left in her. She was thought to be a disgrace to the family from what they knew, but later evidence would suggest she was also the victim of a vicious rape. As years went on, new houses were built in replacement. A memorial stone was laid at the corner of Ladywell Street and Heatley Street, which was thought to be the place where Dorothy had been so brutally murdered. It was thought that she herself was buried in the grounds of the Holy Trinity Church in Trinity Square of Preston, although there was some dispute about this. It was some time after Dorothy had been laid to rest before the corpse of a young man was found near to the center of Preston. The circumstances surrounding his death were left a mystery. His skull and rib cage had been completely crushed. 2 weeks later, another young man's body was found, and he too had died in a similar manner. Later still, there was a third body found, and by now all kinds of rumors were going around the town. Many believed that the Bannister Doll had returned to the scene of her brutal murder to seek vengeance for the cruel and heartless way her father had killed her. Even once the vicious deaths had come to an end, the many sightings of the Bannister Doll continued, with many people claiming to have seen the ghost of a young maiden floating up and down Snow Hill. When Mayor Bannister eventually died, another family moved into the house that they lived in. On their very first night, they said to have felt a presence of the ghost and felt scared. On the second night in, they were once again subjected to the presence of the ghost. They fled the house straight away and never returned after what they had experienced. The next family then moved in. They stayed 3 nights, and them too fled after seeing similar sightings. Mothers at one point used to take their daughters to visit the stone where Dolly was murdered as a warning of what could happen if they was to get pregnant. None of the girls in town wanted to end up like the Bannister Doll did.